So we spoke about views, but one thing that you also need to understand is we have text. We've also done text. Now, a text component is used to display text on the screen. So if you ever wanted to display something on the screen, you have to actually write in the text component. If you don't write in there, you're going to get an error. And that's how the text component is. And you can use the text component as many times as you would like to. Okay. Now, the next piece of component that I really want to focus on, even though, because in the view component, we've looked at view and we've also looked at the text. I want to focus on is the image example. Okay. So let's say, for example, you wanted to display image within your application. I'm going to show you an example of how we can actually display an image. So I'm going to create another component. So constant image component. Beautiful. And then, so let's look at this way. We have an image component here. Now, inside I don't need a text, but I need a view. What I'm going to do is image. Okay. You always have to import the image component. Okay. So as you've noticed, something that would usually happen is because of the extension that I have is helping me to write it. So to create an image component, what you need to do is an opening case or an opening tag, and then you have the image component, the name of the image. Then you have the source. Okay, the source can be anywhere you can find an image, anywhere you can you can write an image with. It seems as if there is an image at reactnative.dev.docs.asset.p.cat or something like that already given it to us. So I'm just going to hit my tab button to see if my image will display. I just want to check the error. It does not have the props property. It does not have the prop. Okay, I know what it is. Give me 1 second. Let's use the source. Okay, so let's have a source, and our source is we're going to refer to an image. So I'm going to use something called require. Okay, so require helps us to be able to point to a location where we can get an image from. So in this particular instance, I can go to our you can go back to your app folder or assets folder, for example. Assets folder. I always prefer to do it this way. So we can do assets folder. And then the assets folder, we have images. And we may have some default images in there. Don't worry about this for now. Sometimes you can fix it using Copilot. Sometimes you can just let it run. For the purpose of this, we're just going to leave it just like this way and close it. And then in my view component, what I'm going to do here is instead of displaying my view, let me see if I call my image component, what we're going to see on the screen. Now I'm getting an error. 1 second. Okay. Now what it's telling me is that there's a problem, right? And the problem is, even though I'm using the image component, I haven't actually imported the image component. So what I'm going to do is inside of here, I'm just going to introduce the image. And then what you should see is that there's now an image on my screen. Okay. Now it looks too big, so we're just going to give it a style. Okay. We're going to give it a style. We're going to say width maybe 200, height also 200. Okay. And there we go. And that is how you actually use the image component to display an image within your application. Okay. So that is the image component. So so far we've covered the view component, we've covered the text component, and we've also covered the image component. Beautiful. And I'll see you in the next video.